Tim. Hardware store. I've never been one to feel insecure, but the way Laura's been clinging to Sandy has been rubbing me the wrong way. I get it, I'm big, kinda scary, but she has to know I'd never hurt her. At least, I'm hoping she knows that by now. During our weekday lunches and secret sessions, she's pretty quiet. I tend to do most of the talking. I don't mind. I'm used to taking the lead, but I'd be lying if I said I'm not a little jealous about how she seems to open up more with Sandy. His goofy ass uses humor to loosen her up, and me, well, that's just not my style. I'm more of the Papa Bear type. I build shit, protect shit, and wreck shit. But around Laura, I don't mind showing off my softer side, if that's what she needs to trust me more. When Nick sent the message on the security comms, being soft and cuddly was the least of my concerns. For the past 3 weeks, fuckers have been sneaking around Laura's home and office. Sure, we take care of them, but as my feelings for her grew, my impatience with this James character lessened. If I had to go to war to keep Laura and the little guy safe, then that's just what it was. I'm sure that comes off as weird, seeing as though I haven't met her long, but I swear, with her there's just this need for me to protect, defend, and keep her safe. I made it to the hardware store in record time. I don't even remember parking my range. I hopped out of that bitch so fast, you would have thought my britches were burning. As the automatic doors slid open, a gust of chilly wind ruffled my beard. The smell of sawdust and chemicals was heavy. I caught a glimpse of Nick and Laura at the register, checking out. But I was on a mission, so I zeroed in quick on the motherfuckers tailing them. 2 Hispanics wearing all black, and the comms team mentioned a white guy parked in a beat-up gray Dodge Ram near the entrance. Before they could follow Sandy and Laura out the door, I had already intercepted the biggest one. The other security team members were rounding up the other guy. "What the fuck, man?" The weathered-faced Hispanic groaned as I purposely bumped his shoulder while crossing the aisle by the lawn care section. I gave him a look, then growled. "Get your wetback ass out of my way, boy, before I call ICE." Now look here, I'm not a racist, but I had to get this fucker riled up and off his rocker so Sandy and Laura could slip out. When I said it, I got his attention. I did. Mind you, I'm pushing 300 pounds, and this cornbread-fed, tamale-eating motherfucker had to be just 50 or so pounds less than me. "What the fuck you say to me, hombre? You want to repeat that shit, funny man?" I smirked while I stroked my beard, taunting him even more, hoping to get him in his feelings, and it worked. He hadn't even noticed his buddies were already picked off by my crew. As we kept talking shit back and forth, I was steadily leading him to the outside exit toward the greenhouse where my range was parked. "You speak pretty good English there, boy." "Boy. I got your boy, you biker bitch motherfucker." Before he could finish, I'd already punched him in his throat. The clatter of his teeth impacting my fist told me his jaw was shattered. His hands immediately went to his throat as his eyes bulged out, struggling to breathe. I surveyed the back entrance, then plucked his big ass up and threw him into the back of the range. With the biggest piggy in my care, I messaged the rest of the team. "These piggies made it to the market, but they won't be making it home. Wee. End comms. Meet up at Lookout Cove. End comms. I tapped my thumb on the steering wheel as I merged onto the interstate. The drive to Lookout Cove was treacherous. Hurricane Sue had moved in so quickly that it caught us all by surprise. My windshield wipers barely helped as they wished across the windshield. I could hear my Vic thumping around in the back, so I turned my volume up and blasted Slipknot while turning into the wetlands. I dimmed my lights, then I turned left onto Heron Bay Boulevard, and that made it a wee bit hard to drive as my truck struggled to trudge through the murky, flooded swamps. When the team and I pulled up to the cabin near the cove entrances, Hurricane Sue had reared her ugly head. However, this was not my first rodeo. I'd tangoed with my fair share of tropical storms. Vino, Mark, and Paul had followed me out there with their piggies wrapped up nicely in the trunks of their vehicles. As I stepped out of the car, the stinging rain pelted off the top of my bald head. The ground beneath my feet slopped and squelched as I made my way to the back and unlatched the trunk hatch. If we did not hurry, the Green K wetlands would trap us in. I signaled to the boys, and they swiftly brought over the unconscious bodies of Fat Boy's friends. To my surprise, the big one was awake. He watched as I pulled my favorite tool out of the undercarriage of my truck. Those big bloodied eyes of his never left me for a second. Hell, the look he gave me reminded me of my days as a service member. This motherfucker knew he was going to die, and he did not fear his death. I gave him a nod. I could respect that, but it did not change the fact that these dickwads were sent to harm what was mine, and for that, they would die. I grabbed the hand